The Rucker stepped their game up so much that year. It was 20,000 people out there waiting for the game.
This is what we call street basketball. We play this game on the blacktop. The biggest tournament in New York is played at Rucker Park. Rutgers started a basketball tournament in 1950 in order to help less fortunate kids stay off the streets and aim for college careers. But the tournament turned into something much bigger. The peak of this basketball classic was in 2003 when 15 to 20,000 people packed the streets to witness the showdown between Fat Joe and Jay-Z's streetball teams. But it was the history of the legendary tournament that paved the way for the most hyped final game to ever happen.
It's just historic, like way before my time. You know what I'm saying? The Rucker Park has been for like many, many, many years, and you hear about Dr. J, all the greatest of the greats coming down and playing in the park and tearing it out, and legends, Joe Hammond, Pete Kirkland. You know, it's a special place, it's a special vibe, and it's nothing like that in the world, to be honest with you.
As you got older, this is the tournament guys look forward to playing in because of the history and what it has to offer. The support was crazy. People would pack the court on trees, buildings, bridges. A lot of inspiration came from playing in the Rucker, because if you were able to compete and shine at that high of a level, you may have a shot at making it into the NBA some way. There's a lot of exposure that comes along with these tournaments when celebrities are in the mix. The Rucker is the outside version of the Madison Square Garden. Many NBA guys have said, you aren't a real hooper until you experience the Rucker. It was really a different atmosphere out there. That's what brought out so many big names to these tournaments. Guys like Irv Gotti, Fat Joe, Jay-Z, Fab, I mean the list goes on. Basketball guys and music guys just get along. It was more than just basketball there though. Many NBA guys made their way through the Rucker.
It's big. If you haven't played there, you're not a real hooper.
You're not really an NBA player, I guess, until you experience the Rucker at least one time. That's my definition.
Some people that's in the NBA, I don't think could survive out there.
Fat Joe was always a part of the league at Rucker Park. His team ended up taking home the title in 2002, led by Stephen Marbury and Ron Artest. Fat Joe ran a little dynasty, but in 2003, Jay-Z wanted to join the league and have his own squad to promote his brand and have a chance to win the championship. Jay-Z mentioned he only wanted to do this one time. Right away, he started hitting up guys from Fat Joe's championship team, but that didn't stop Joe from building the squad. Joe went and picked up new guys like Zach Randolph and Skip to My Lou to add Stephen Marbury and Sean Marion. Fat Joe's Terror Squad picked up right where they left off.
Fat Joe in the Terror Squad. Fat Joe in the Terror Squad. Fat Joe in the Terror Squad.
Jay-Z had the spotlight for his team to come out and put on a show. Jay's team was stacked from the jump, but along the way he always added guys to make them the problem. His S. Carter team consists of streetball legend John Strickland, Lamar Odom, Sebastian Telfair, Antoine Walker, T-Mac, LeBron, and Jamal Crawford. Both guys, Jay and Fat Joe, took the tournament very seriously, even while on tour for their music. As busy as these guys were, they still came to every game and supported their teams. They also wanted to put on a show for the people as well. These guys were so competitive that they tried to keep pace with each other and add a new guy each week to make their squad even better. The amount of talent that was out there at that park was close to or better than what the NBA brings out.
We get anywhere near the championship game, I promise problems. You understand, I'll be flying off tour for this, man. I'm on tour right now, rock the mic tour. I'll be flying off tour to come down. I'm exhausted right now. Come down here, show a little love, bring Harlem couple stars, bring people that they see on TV. You know what I'm saying? They grew up seeing their whole life out here. You know, they can see them live and watch them play live.
By the end of the league, both Fat Joe's Terror Squad and Jay-Z's S. Carter team get to see each other in the championship. This was going to be the biggest streetball game in history. It was August 14, 2003. Rucker Park started to witness crowds it has never seen before. 2 or 3 hours before the game, they said they had 15 to 20,000 people waiting out there for the game. But it was the rumors of who was coming that day was what brought more of a crowd. John Strickland on the S. Carter team mentioned that they know for sure that Shaq, LeBron, T-Mac, Eddie Curry, Jamal Crawford, and Sebastian Telfair were going to play in the championship game. But this is what Jay-Z promised to everyone. They both knew they had to bring their best NBA and streetball players out to get this ship. Fat Joe, though, wasn't playing. He went out there and picked up a few guys as well. Guys like Melo and Amari Stoudemire.
The day we were supposed to play the chip, some reason it's the blackout.
blacked out. There has been a power failure in southern Canada or northern New York that has caused a failure in the power grid. It is estimated the power grid failure covers Canada, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, and Ohio.
Both teams were ready to go at this point and were waiting to see what was going to happen with the light situation. There was a lot on the line for this game to be played. There was pride and big money on this game. But in the city of Harlem, with all the chaos going on with the blackout, the main priority was still to play this game. What was going on really could have been a movie. There was a lot of confusion going on about what was going to happen. Many people made suggestions to get the cars and the buses and shine the lights at the courts so they could play the game. The bus driver even said that they had enough power on the bus to power up the lights so the game could be played. But it didn't matter because it was 6 o'clock and the police had said they couldn't have the game even if they wanted to because of the blackout. They have to do their detail. It's insane because the last blackout happened over 20 years ago. And then it happens on the day of one of the greatest games to never be played. People were starting to wonder who was really going to come out. You had guys like LeBron, Jamal Crawford, and T-Mac waiting on the bus, and Shaq on the plane flying in because Fat Joe had mentioned Yao Ming was going to play.
LeBron was definitely going to play that day. He had the jersey on and everything, had the sneakers, had someone there to tape his ankles and everything.
I was on the bus because I wanted to make the Brick City entrance, you know how we do. Jay-Z sent the plane, and I came up because, you know, they were saying Fat Joe had Yao Ming. You know, Fat Joe's my guy, but, you know, when they want to bring Yao Ming up to the city, you know, I got to come shut that down all day, every day, baby. D's with Dog Mafia.
Everyone needed to be on the same page though, so Fat Joe went to everyone's house and said for the guys not to leave and wait this out so they could play the game. Jay-Z had it all mapped out though. Win or lose, Jay-Z was out the next night. Lights came on the next morning, but it was too late to have the game, so it was rescheduled for a few days later.
You know, by yards to Jay being on a boat with Beyonce and a yacht in Saint-Tropez. I mean, hey, I can't do that. No disrespect, Joe can't do that. Hey, this is Saint-Tropez with Beyonce. I'm not mad at him. That's just me though.
6 o'clock, 6:30, 7 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. I thought they were gonna make a miraculous entrance, like come in a helicopter in the middle of the grass or something.
It came to an unfair decision of a forfeit. The decision had to be made though. People were sitting outside waiting for 4 or 5 hours for the game to be played. But to build up that much energy and hype for a championship game not to happen was a really ugly situation.
Jay over the phone at 1, yo, the game's gonna be rescheduled. Then Greg gets on the radio and says, yo, the game is canceled, Fat Joe on the 1. If you having a tournament, how don't you play that game? That'd have been the best game ever of your life having that tournament. Why don't you want that to be played? You tell me.
There was some truth to the game being rescheduled and played at Madison Square Garden, but it's street basketball. It's only right if you play it out on the blacktop. It really is something many people would love to be a part of and see. To this day though, Fat Joe and Jay-Z haven't spoke to each other.
And lean back, the biggest, most spun radio record in the history of hip-hop music, I address the Rucker. We ain't even have to play to win the championship. To this day, me and Jay-Z have never said hello to each other again after that.
This was the greatest game to never be played. The street ball tournament brought out some of the biggest stars in hip-hop and sports all together in one place. And the largest blackout in US history killed Manhattan in the championship game. Still shocking to note this game was never played.
Tired of these fake, and I knew they was and I knew they was scared to come, man. I told y'all.
Well guys, that's all I have for you today. Thank you for watching the greatest game to never be played. I'll be back soon with more sports leaks, and as always, keep it crispy.
Put the greatest to play the game on the blacktop. Rucker Park, yeah, it was that spot. No cheerleaders, no mascot. Time to separate the have from the have-nots. The greatest game to never be played. The lights went out, then they waited 3 days. 20,000 waiting right before the blackout. Rooftops, even on the bridges, it was packed out. I really wonder what team would go harder. Fat Joe's Terror Squad or S. Carter. Crawford and T-Mac, Shaq on Yao Ming's bag. Rucker Park, guess it's time to show them where the king's at. The greatest game there ever was, there never was. Everybody's talking, man, it caught a hella buzz. They was about to go hard like Kanye. What happened to Jay, man? Must have been Beyonce.